The Barbados government passes new legislation to tighten spending, and in sport, CWI President's 11 push England on the opening day of their two-day tour match. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Wednesday, January 16, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break. The Barbados Parliament has passed legislation to rein in spending by future governments. Prime Minister Mia Mottley says the Public Finance Management Bill will place a cap on contingencies, prevent the Central Bank of Barbados from overprinting money, and allow for an independent audit of government's finances. She told lawmakers the legislation was needed in light of the former administration amassing a $15 million debt before leaving office back in May last year.
No government in this country must ever be allowed to act in a manner in which the last government acted, with impunity, hiding under the cover of night, nothing to show for what they did to take money from innocent taxpayers. And we have come here conscious that this piece of legislation is not about getting even with a previous government. This piece of legislation is about the future. This piece of legislation is about the standards to which we bind ourselves as a government in good faith.
The Grenada government says it's moving ahead with plans to increase pension for public sector workers to 70%. This is even as the authorities are still engaged in a dispute with trade unions and staffs associations about gratuity. Trade, Industry, Cooperatives and CARICOM Affairs Minister Oliver Joseph, who is also chairman of government's Pension Engagement Committee, said the government proposed to address the concerns of hundreds of workers who are retiring with only a national insurance scheme pension, and it's now fulfilling that promise. He explained that this is a top-up of the pension paid up by the NIS, which ranges generally from 30 to 58%, but can reach a maximum of 60%. Now, earlier this month, Joseph wrote Labour Commissioner Cyrus Griffiths indicating that a deadlock had been reached with the unions and staff associations regarding the advanced payment of pension or gratuity. But he said the parties have agreed on a pension of 70% for public officers, although the issue of gratuity or the advanced payment of pension remains unresolved. The Keith Mitchell administration has offered to pay 8% gratuity with reduced pension for 8 years, but the unions and staff associations have maintained their demand for 25% gratuity, which the government said it cannot afford. A devastating blow to Tobago's tourism thrust. That's how the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Kelvin Charles, has described the decision by Sandals Resort International not to go ahead with a multi-million-dollar resort in Tobago that was to be a major driver of the economy of Trinidad's sister isle. Now, Sandals yesterday announced its decision to withdraw from the project, citing constant and ongoing negative publicity.
I am tremendously disappointed, simply because when one looks at the issue, it is not only Sandals pulling out, but really and truly what is happening is that one is seeing hundreds, thousands of job opportunities literally walking away. hundreds of Tobagonians, and indeed Trinidadians as well, literally robbed of a chance to earn a living. What we are seeing is a missed opportunity to diversify our economy, to earn valuable foreign exchange at a time when there are issues surrounding earning and utilization of foreign exchange, as well as the need to provide a fillip or a boost to other sectors of the Tobago economy.
Meantime, Minority Leader of the Tobago House of Assembly, Watson Duke, welcomed Sandal's decision, saying it would save the island's wetlands. And Opposition Leader Kamala Persad-Bissessa has used the matter to call for fresh general elections in the country. She argued that the position that Sandals withdrew the project based on negative publicity is bordering on absurd and is another attempt by the government to deflect attention from its incompetence. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next.
10 women. 5 men. But who will be the RJR Gleaner Sports Foundation National Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year for 2018? That's the 58th annual RJR Gleaner Group Sports Foundation National Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year Awards, live from the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel on Friday, January 18.
This is not any regular festival where you just come to hear music. This is a diverse festival, the one and only of its kind, where we have music on display, we have our food, but we have so much of our culture. And right now, we also have some arts and crafts on display, and we're here with the Dominica Arts and Crafts Producers Association, DACPA, naturally Dominican. Good night, tell us your name and tell us what you have on display for people to participate.
Off-spinner Brian Charles claimed 5 wickets as CWI President's 11 pushed tour in England on the opening day of the 2-day tour match at the 3Ws Oval. Now, the tourists were dismissed at the close for 317, with the 23-year-old Charles claiming 5 for 100 from 25 overs. CBC's Anne-Marie Book took in some of yesterday's action.
Started the post-hunt session in a decent position on 87 for 2. But with the very first delivery of the new session, it was quickly dispatched to the ropes by skipper Joe Root. No doubt the English were on a mission to improve on that total. The very next ball was given the same treatment, again dispatched to the ropes. Actually, he made it 3 on the trot, edging this one down through third man. But the President's 11 would have a breakthrough as Rory Burns is given LBW to Shamar Holder, not being able to add to his pre-lunch knock of 35. England are 106 for 3. That did not faze Root, who continued to beat ball, nicely timing this one 4 more. And having joined Root at the crease, the boundary fever also caught Ben Stokes, edging this one to the ropes. But Root was simply in form. Look at the timing and placement on this. It was quick fire. And seemingly tired of just a basic boundary, he went all the way over wide long off for 6. Stokes still in that boundary mode as well. Too quick for the fielder. Stokes was really getting in the groove. This one straight driven for maximum. But it was time to break up the party, and it was Root to go. A brilliant catch by Sunil Ambrose signed his walking papers. Root a stroke-filled 87, including 12 fours and 2 sixes. A true.
That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.